Welcome to the Office Corner with H.D. Campbell. Each show is packed with news, author interviews, specials all about you, the author. And now here's our host, H.D. Campbell.
Hi, welcome to another installment of the Office Corner with H.D. Campbell. As always, I'm your host, H.D. Campbell. We have nearly a 2-hour-long show here, packed with great interviews, sensual speak, as well as great news to share. My first interview is going to be with Blaqrayne founder and CEO, Kim Morrow, along with her number one author, Jerri Duncan Hansen. They both are best friends and have wonderful, great things to say about each other, and they both have wonderful projects. My next interview is going to be with Dais-Pasley, who we're going to be talking about business, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship, we're going to be talking about a whole lot of things. Finally, we're going to slow things down and have a very sensual conversation with poet Kottyn, as only she knows how to give it. So when we come back, we're going to have our first interview with Kim and Jerri. Stay tuned.
Ever experienced a love for someone so forbidden, you feel so wrong, but yet his passion makes you feel oh so right? Even if you have, meet Solomon and Sheba, my award-winning author, Francine Kraft, and experience it all again. Experience the roadblocks of pregnancy, past transgressions, and the deathbed confession threatens the most powerful of romances. Can they survive? By Solomon and Sheba from your favorite bookstore, Amazon, and BarnesandNoble.com. Have you checked out the Author's Corner lately? It's the best show you're not watching. Every 2 weeks we bring you author interviews, news, and the best of the industry. With special guests, it's no wonder it's the fastest growing show around. There are 2 ways to check me out. Log on to my website at www.hdcampbell3.net or my YouTube channel at hdcampbell1230. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit.
Welcome back to the Author's Corner. My first couple of guests are best friends. One started a wonderful publishing company which brings in a whole lot of good authors. The other was one of her authors who helps to not only bring in other authors, she writes incredibly good books herself. So without further ado, I'm going to give you Kim Morrow and Jerri Duncan Hansen.
All right. Blaqrayne, well, it's actually Blaqrayne Publishing and Promotions. That's the official name. Blaqrayne Publishing and Promotions. It's spelled Blaqrayne. My favorite is black ever, and I came up with Blaqrayne. It started out because when I wrote my first novel, it was published by a publishing house.
Okay.
In the process of learning some things, I realized that was not the way I wanted to go. So I decided that I would start my own publishing company and that I would publish my own stuff. So it started out not being for anybody but me. And under Blaqrayne, I have published 6 books, and 4 fiction and 2 poetry books. But there was a time in my life not too long ago when things weren't looking too good, and you know, it was kind of dark, and I was depressed, and I was about to close out everything. I was about to close out all my Facebook accounts. I was about to shut down my publishing company, stop writing, the whole 9 yards. And I was on another profile that I had, and there was a gentleman that was telling me about his dream to publish his poetry. And people may not know this is true, and you probably do too, HD. God spoke to me, and he said, you cannot go anywhere. That's why I put you here. I put you here so that you can make people's dreams come true the same way the publishing company made your dream come true. So I talked to this gentleman, and I talked to him, and we established a relationship, and He was the first author that I published for. And his name is Benjamin Davis, and the name of his book is The Unpolished Gem. And I've been publishing ever since. So I can't take any credit. This is God's plan for my life right now. You come to me, you have a dream. Your dream is to see your words, your work, your thoughts, your poetry, whatever, in print. And I will make that dream come true for you.
Okay. And how long?
Reasonably as we possibly can, because I'm not out to try to make a dollar. It's not about money. God takes care of me. He provides for me. Yeah, I make a little change. Or, don't get me wrong. I make my little change, but I do mine up front. There are no hidden thieves. There is no hidden mess. There is no hidden BS. You won't get hit with this later on down the road, or later on, or hit with that. No contracts. We don't sign contracts because you're not obligated to write for me. You can write for whoever you want to write for. Those are your words, your thoughts. You can put them where you want to put them. I don't do royalties. At the end of the day, by the time you finish paying the distributors and the people that are printing your books and paying Amazon and Creative Space or whoever for advertising your books for you, by the time you finish doing them, there's nothing left for you to pay me. So you deserve to get what you need to get off of your work. So just tell me how you want it. Jerri will vouch for this. I'll stay up all night long if I have to. We're doing book cover after book cover after book cover until you are satisfied, because it's your dream. And that's Blaqrayne.
Yeah, I love that. I love that philosophy. I love that business ethic. I love it. But I need you to now tell me, what are your titles leading up to the latest one?
The very first one is Family Secrets, and I write under a pen name. My pen name is R. Angel, and the first one is Family Secrets. The second one is Steam Room Black. The third is Heat's Desire 1. The fourth is Heat's Desire 2. The fifth is my first poetry book, which was Dipping My Ink, and Nightscapes, the midnight hour of poetry.
Okay. Well, now that you have your books, now that you have Blaqrayne, how did you come to meet Jerri?
Well, Jerri and I, were in a group together, Sisters with Ink, and I didn't spend a whole lot of time in the group. But every time I went in the group, this woman, Duncan, Hansen, had this writing. And, these were powerful writings. And I would read it and I was like, this woman knows what she's talking about. So, at some point we became friends on Facebook. And I added her to my poetry group, which is called Freestyle Forum, where you just freestyle and do whatever you need to do to get it out. And Jerri did a writing called now make sure I'm walk through the door, right? It was walk through the door. And the imagery, the picture that she had with it was just, that's what drew me, the picture, because it was a door that was opening up into the sky. And all I saw was this door and these words, walk through the door. So I read it. And it changed my life. It literally changed my life. I was in the process of making a decision about some things that were going on in my personal life. And when I read that writing, it was all the confirmation from God that I needed. That it was time to leave the past behind and walk through the door. And during the time when I was, like I said, when I was publishing Benjamin's book, my first book, I think I was promoting it or I was talking about it or something on Facebook. Jerri saw, and she commented on it. Okay, sis, why can't you publish my book? I'm like, but I thought your book was already published. I thought you were already in the process. The rest is history.
See, I like that.
First it was census, and it was census too. The rest is history. And you have to understand, me and Jerri are more than Facebook friends. She is 3,000 what? What are you? 3,000 miles away from me?
Yeah,
she is 3,000 miles away from me. I'm in Reedsville, North Carolina. She's on the West Coast in California. This woman feels my pain. This woman knows when something is wrong with me. I know when something is wrong with her. We have this otherworldly connection. So we are more than Facebook friends. We are friends. She is the president of PR of my company. Because, and she will post, and she will post, and she will post until she falls out. And it's not just about Jerri. It's about everybody in the Blaqrayne family. So, she's the backbone of this company. She is the backbone of Blaqrayne.
Okay.
I'm through.
Oh no, you're just fine. I always forget to tell everyone in the office corner who comes to interview, this is your interview. You know, this is my show, but your interview, and what you do is you speak for as long as you're not timed. If you got something to say, get it out. That is not a problem. So you guys are just fine. My next question is, I want to basically ask how many authors do you have under Blaqrayne currently?
What? How many? Jerri, how many is it? Look,
I don't know. About
10. It's Geraldine.
you got about 8 or 9, don't you? Maybe 10.
Shirley. Who else? Theodora.
Miss Lucy.
Miss Lucy. Well, for right now, she's still under Blaqrayne. Erica is under Blaqrayne, and she's about to do a new poetry book. Erica Chamberlain. Jeanette Sapphire. Beth Charette is under Blaqrayne. Diane Beautiful Christian has a book that's still under Blaqrayne, although she no longer writes for us.
Well, so does Deep August. Deep August is part of that.
Yeah, Dee, Michelle, Millette. Michelle is one. So I would say maybe about anywhere from 10 to 15.
Yes, somewhere around there.
And what are the genre
About
ranges?
10 to 15.
I'm sorry.
No, what did you say?
Okay.
I missed that.
Oh no, what are the genre ranges?
You write about whatever you want to write about, whatever your dream says to you, whatever your dream is. I've been big on poetry, inspiration. The Sweethearts just came out, which is historical. Tell them about the Sweethearts, Jerri.
Well, the Sweethearts is a story. It's written by one of my high school friends. We've been friends for 41 years, and her mother used to play fast pitch softball in the town I grew up in, which is Merced, California. It's a small town, and it was an all-black women's team, and they were hot. I mean, back in the day, in the 60s and 70s, they were the hottest thing smoking as far as softball teams were going. And then, then the racial political thing came into it because they were unbeatable. They were unstoppable in everything they did. And so Shirley has written a book called The Sweethearts. It's called Equality and Respect. And it's a story about her mother and her teammates and how it affected the community. I mean, there's not anybody that lives in that town that, lived there during that time frame that doesn't know who the Sweethearts are. They were a phenomenal team, and it's a hell of a story. And it's historical as far as the town goes. It's historical as far as race goes. I mean, it's just a great story, and it's a legacy for her mother, she's still with us, and thank goodness she'll be able to read what her story how it's affected people throughout the years, because they still talk about the Sweethearts. So that author's name is Shirley Davis Brown, so I'm sure you'll be interviewing her too.
Oh yes, in fact I'll be talking to her here, but a little bit later. Before I go on to my next question, I want to say I love the energy you guys have. love the passion you guys have for the company and for your projects. Without that energy, I don't think there would be a Blaqrayne. So you guys give good
It
energy.
wouldn't be. No, no, we be burning it up over here between the East Coast and the West Coast. We're gonna set the country on fire with Blaqrayne. It's a fire. It's a fire. it's definitely a fire. And I told you, the woman is the wind beneath my wings. When I get depressed, when things don't go right, when stuff does not happen like it's supposed. So I was working on a book, and unforeseen circumstances caused my internet to be shut down. And at the time, I didn't have the money to pay it. Jerri paid it and put me back to work. So is there any reason why she shouldn't be the backbone of my company? Is there any reason why she shouldn't be the president of public relations and promotion? There's no reason why she shouldn't be. See, that's what I'm saying. What we have to understand in this life, this is the thing that we all have to learn in this life if we are to succeed. Success has nothing to do with dollars and cents.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And the rest, just the team and I have it is more than just a friendship across, Facebook. It's a connection within the spirit and the heart, and it was instant. From the first time we even said hello on Facebook, there was this connection that was just phenomenal. I grew up, I had much older sisters, so I really didn't have a bond with a sister because they were 34, 35 years older than me, so there was really no connection for me. But at the moment Kim and I said hello and we started talking back and forth, she's my little sister, and there isn't anything I won't do for her. There isn't anything I won't do for her if I can possibly do it. She made my dream come true, and no one can ever take that from me. And I don't care what anybody says or how they feel about it. The connection is very strong, and it's of the heart and it's of the spirit. And when you get a connection of the spirit, there's not anything that's going to come through that. I'm sorry, and that's just the way it is. There's been a lot of jealousy been thrown out there by people because of this. Do I care? No. That's just the way it is, because hateration is out there and it's alive and well, no matter what avenue you go down and what path you go down. But, as far as I'm concerned, the haters make us greater, and it's happening for Blaqrayne. It's happening for Kim and I. Every time we turn around, there's someone else calling and, can you do my book? Can you do this? And she stays up and burns the midnight oil. I'm getting up to go to work. She's still up on the East Coast, and I get off work. She's still up. She doesn't stop until she finishes the project, and it's to your satisfaction. And she doesn't care if how many hours she has to put in, how many times she has to redo something. If you're not happy with it, she's not going to put her name on it as far as Blaqrayne goes. And that says a lot in itself, because a lot of people would just say, you know what, you're too picky or you're too this, I'm not going to deal with you. But that's not the case with Kim and Blaqrayne. She will go above and beyond, and it's been great for me because she has pushed me to do writings that I never even thought I could do. I thought I was just strictly a writer. But you'll see in Nightscapes that I do have some erotica.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of different poetry that I didn't know I could do. And she's constantly promoting me. She's constantly uplifting me. I'm going through some personal things right now, and she walks me through that every weekend when I have to leave my house and go see this person that's been a part of my life for so many years, and watch them kind of fade away from me with Alzheimer's. And she's my support group. There's not enough I can say about Kim, as you can tell, but that's just the way it is. And I will give props where props is due. And I wouldn't have my dream. My dream would have never came true if it hadn't been for Blaqrayne. So I will always have gratitude and appreciation for Blaqrayne and for Kim.
You know what? And I'll just say this one more time. Then Jerri, my next question is going to be towards you. I posed a question yesterday about what authors really care about. You both especially you, Kim, are both the reason why authors care or why our readers care because you care about the words on the page. You care about the finished product. And you're willing to do what it takes to make sure that project is perfect. So,
Can I say something?
go ahead.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Few people truly understand
Yep.
the power of words. That's the reason why they throw them around so casually.
I agree.
That's the reason why I love you is thrown around so casually.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I hate you casually. It's because people do not understand the power of words. The things that God gave us that is stronger, more powerful than any force on the face of this earth is words. That's our seed. That's the original seed. When you don't have anything else, when you don't have any money to give, when you might not have time to give, when you might not have this, that, or the third of a material value to give, you can always give a word. You can always say, thank you. You can always say, I appreciate that. You can always say, I didn't know that. It's always something that you can say in words.
Mm-hmm.
Words mean a whole lot to me. Words mean a whole lot to you. Mean a whole lot to people that write. So when people understand the power and the impact of their words, words have caused wars. Words have caused people to get killed that did not have to die.
Absolutely.
Words have just caused all kinds of trouble. But then words have healed wounds. Words have uplifted people. Words have encouraged people. So we need to pay attention to words. That's the reason why we at Blaqrayne pay so much attention to words. You got a story to tell. How you going to tell that story? In words.
Use them words. Everybody got a story.
That's it.
Everybody got a story to tell.
Story. A lot of people just afraid to tell it, but once you get it out there and it cleanses your soul, and I mean, just for myself, and when Kim contacted me on my first book and told me that it was live, I'm still floating on the clouds since March 1st over that, and I mean, you couldn't bring me down off of that mountaintop. And then it was like within 6 weeks, she published my second book. And I wrote that in a 12-hour time span. And then, now I'm involved in this third book. And so I got another one on the way. But, words affected me in my life to the point where I used to live in a deep black hole because of certain words that were said to me, feeling unworthy and feeling that I wasn't worth, 2 nickels rubbed together. And then one day I heard the words of God tell me that you're my child. Mm-hmm. So you have to be still long enough to listen to those whispers within your heart and realize that those of us that are writers, it's a gift from God. And whatever way you want to put it out there, whether it's through erotica, whether it's through motivational, whether it's through poetry, whether it's fiction, a biography, whatever way you want to put it out there, those words affect people no matter who they are. I never realized that the words I had to write would affect as many people as it has. I mean, I have become friends with people all across the United States, including yourself, HD, through my words. Mm-hmm. And I never realized that those words affected people to the point where I'm constantly hearing, did you write that for me? You must know what was going on with me today, because, man, you just hit the nail on the head with the hammer with that one. So, I mean, you never know what your words are going to do to people. So, yeah, they do make a difference. And as far as Blaqrayne goes, if Kim reads something and she's not quite sure about it, she'll throw it past me and say, what'd you get out of this? And then we go back and forth with that, and it's like, no, I don't know if I don't know if I'd want that out there, or yeah, that's good. Go ahead and go. Yeah, that's their words. Put it out there. So it's incredible that the journeys that these people have been on and the way they express themselves through words is phenomenal. And I don't think people really take it seriously. They're so caught up in their own little world, and they don't, they hear words being thrown out at them, but they don't listen.
No.
Let alone make them. And they get to that place where they want to use words to benefit, and they want to use words to make money. That's not what words are for. Words are seeds. What do you do with it? You plant them. You plant it. You plant it. That's what you do with a seed. You plant it. You don't make money off of it. You plant it. And then once you plant it, you leave it alone and you let it grow. And you let it grow. You might put a little water on it. You might put a little fertilizer. And then once it grows and turns into this huge tree, it's going to provide you with everything that you need anyway. But if you try to sell it while it's still in seed form, it's not going to benefit you. It's not going to profit you anything. So instead of trying to sell your words, or instead of publishing companies trying to take your words and sell them, why don't they just plant them? That's all I'm doing. All we do at Blaqrayne is plant words. We plant seeds. That's all we do. We do that every single day. And yes, HD, I have published for free. Tell him, Jerri. Yes, she's published my works for free. I have published and because of that, not only that, she say that I have published for free, but this woman takes very, very good care of me. Let me put it that way. This woman takes very, very good care of me. And the reason why she does it is because she knows that my heart is in the right place. But yes, I have published for free. Why? Because I'm planting words. You got a dream. If you lay down and die 2 days after I publish your book, and you get to see your book out there, and somebody buys your book, and somebody does an Amazon review and talks about how your book affects their life, do you know you that happy?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And not only that, I mean, the whole concept with getting these words and the seeds of the word planted is that once that's done and it starts to grow, this whole thing of God that comes into it will open up doors that, I mean, it's unreal. I mean, I never in my lifetime ever dreamed that at this stage of the game in my life that doors would be open for me that, I used to talk about. People, sure, that's going to happen for you. Well, they're happening. And it's coming at such a whirlwind effect that it's like it just knocks you off your feet. You don't even know how to take a breath and say, "Oh my God, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" And then you can't stand back and say, "Oh well, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to look at it." If you don't jump through that window of opportunity or door of opportunity, it'll slam shut really quick.
Yes, it will.
And see, that's what happened with me and Kim. She made a post. I saw this window of opportunity, and I flew through that window. That's right. A book published. 6 weeks later, get another book published. And I'm getting offers for motivational speaking across, over on the East Coast. I mean, they're just waiting for me to just say, okay, when, and we'll do it. But right now, I've got some things, iron the fire that I can't right now. But, it's going to pop off, and Blaqrayne isn't just going to be some little publishing company that Kim has within her home. This is going to go a lot further than I think people realize because of the spirit in which Kim operates her business. She's, it has never ever been about Kim. She's constantly, well, what do you want me to do? Or, what can I do? We're going to get this out here. I'm going to do this. And it's like, well, what about you? What about me? It's not about me. It's like this book, Nightscape. She's wanting me to promote this book, but she's in this book as well. So it's not about me, and it's not about me either. And she's always promoting someone. She's always thinking about that other person above and beyond herself, no matter what the situation is. She'll sit back and she'll have issues going on within her life, and it's like, well, okay, I don't have time for that. I'm trying to make somebody's dream come true. Well, hers is coming true as well. But she wants to sit back and she gives everybody else the glory. But you know what? I'm going to give her the glory because she deserves it. She deserves every bit of props and anything else that you can give this lady for the things that she does, not only for me, but everybody that comes through the Blaqrayne family. She has done so much for so many people, and I find it difficult sometimes that most people in general in this world do not even know how to show gratitude or thank you or anything, and it's a pet peeve of mine. So maybe I go a little overboard with it, but when someone has done something for you, a simple thank you will suffice. And a lot of people, you'll put things out there, well, you need to thank Kim for doing this, or Blaqrayne Publishing, and they'll like, but do they ever make a comment? No. But it's like, if they want something done, they have no problem coming to us saying, well, can you help me get this book out, or help me do this, I've run across a snag on this, what information, or how can you help me with this? Well, say thank you, I appreciate your help, and somewhere down the line, someone else, they're going to want to throw somebody else out there, but you got to be able to show your gratitude for things that people do in this life.
Yes, you do.
You know, a lot of things may come free, but thank yous you can't get any freer than thank you. No, you can't get freer than thank you, and you're welcome. Yeah.
So see, that's the thing. Before I go any further, though, I do want to thank you guys for wanting to talk to me, which is so great. I definitely want to thank you, Kim, for sending me Jerri and so many other authors as well.
Well, I didn't send you, Jerri. You found me on your own. You found Jerri on your own, honey. I think she is just, she is so and she would be such a great motivational speaker because her passion is real. She believes in what she's saying. She believes in what she's doing. She's just Jerri. She's not going to put on show for you. She's not going to change anything for you. She is just going to be Jerri, and she's just going to lay it out there just like it is, take it or leave it, and you have no choice but to look at it and say, and pick it up. It's just, it's magnificent. I mean, I guess it's magnificent because I finally found somebody that's really, truly like me. Just put it out there.
Yeah, we have some real talk, that's for sure.
That's the reason why we get along so well, because we don't miss words with each other.
Right.
You know, if I'm wrong, she'll tell me I'm wrong. If I'm on the right track, she'll tell me I'm on the right track. If I'm on the wrong track, she'll tell me I'm on the wrong track. If I need to let something go, she'll tell me to let it go. If I need to calm down, she'll tell me to calm down. If I need to pick it up, she'll tell me to pick it up. If I need to put it down, she'll tell me to put it down. I told you the woman has got a crystal ball in her house because she knows things that she just does not know about somebody that she does not know personally. Remember, 3,000 miles away. We have never laid eyes on each other. So we're going to.
Well,
we will. We're going to meet. I don't think the country will be ready to handle that.
No, they can't. They won't be. I told you it's a 5, 6. We're going to sit there and we're going to watch. We're going to say, let it burn. None of my Blaqrayne authors. I have never laid eyes on any of them. I have never laid eyes on any of them. But God has given us this spirit of discernment. And when you know, you know. It's just that simple. I mean, and you have to go with what you go. You have to go with what you know. My gift is to find the diamond in the rough. That's my gift. My gift is not to go out here and find the one that's pushing this book and pushing that book and they writing all of this and they writing all of that and everybody, and all the fanfare and all that. No. My job, the job God gave me, is to find that little person over there that's tucked away. And because of life, because of negative words, because of negative vibes, whatever, they're too afraid to say, I got a story and I want you. So they're not screaming, hear me, hear me, hear me. They're not saying anything. And it's my job to find them and give them an avenue, give them a way to tell their story. That's my job. That's what I do.
Well, you do a great
I'm
job.
really damn good too.
I'm about to say you do a darn good job at it. So I like that. I really like it. My next question though is going to be for Jerri. I want you to tell me about Nightscapes.
Nightscapes. Well, Nightscapes kind of got thrown at me 2 weeks back. Kim, in collaboration with actually one of her friends from high school, is actually, I believe her last name is Mosa. She's a high school friend of Kim's, and they kind of started throwing some poetry around, and then pretty soon there was Lillian Crane. And then she throws out this book cover. Well, on the book cover, it's got, Kim as Miss Wardatry, and then it has Soul Cleanser. Well, Soul Cleanser is a name that's been given to me by Bo Sweets and from the radio show that I do with her. And so I'm like, Soul Cleanser, I don't have any poetry. So I'm on Facebook. It's like, okay, Kim, what's up? She says, oh, didn't I tell you? We're doing the book. And I'm like, no, you didn't tell me anything. She's like, okay, I need 4 or 5 writings here. I need a couple writings of this, and I want a couple of erotica, and I want this, and I want that. And I'm like, okay, really? So I sent her some, the best of my ability. Because, like I said, I never thought poetry, and especially erotica, would be anything that I would be doing. So next thing I know, it's like, a week later, the book is published. So that's how Nightscape kind of came across. She got some writings from her friends. She got some writings from herself. She got writings from me, and now we got a book. So, and then Kim and I are also going to work on a book later on, and in regards to the relationship that we've developed across the 3,000 miles, and it's going to be sisters of another mother, but of the same Father, which is the Heavenly Father. So we're gonna do a book that'll be coming out probably by the end of the year, hopefully. Okay. So that's something they'll be working on. But that's how I got taken into Nightscape. So it's pretty interesting. So I hope you read it, because you're gonna be surprised.
I will be.
Coming out of my Nightscapes will definitely take you on a journey, because all experienced the midnight hour in our life. The midnight hour when you are up all night long, you tossing and you turning. You worrying with this, you worrying with that. You are crying because you can't be, you praying, Lord help me get through this, Lord help me get through that. We have so many midnight hours. That's the reason why the name of the book is Nightscape, the midnight hour of poetry. The whole thing is all the stuff that you deal with after dark, after midnight, when everybody else is asleep, because you can't cry these tears in front of people. You can't solve out this story in front of people. During the day, you have to act like everything is all right. But 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, when you all by yourself and you got to deal with this, oh my God. And Jerri's dealing with her situation in her personal life. I've dealt with some situations. Lillian Crane is dealing with some situations in her personal life. Stacy Mosa, that's my friend from high school, her poem is about the situation she was dealing with her children's father. Because we go through this. And there is no point in people thinking that life is going to be a bowl of cherries, because it's not. Life is not a bowl of cherries. Life is not a walk in the park all the time. We have midnight hours. We have those hours but then there are some good things that happen in the midnight hour. There are some really, really good things that happen in the midnight hours. Fantasies come true in the midnight hours. So, it's a little bit of erotica thrown in. People have thought about killing themselves in the midnight hours. Why don't I just end this off? Why don't I just put an end to all of this? And at the end of the book, Jerri, I didn't tell you this. The Alzheimer's number, the numbers for the Alzheimer's hotline is at the end of the book. The number for the domestic violence hotline and the website is at the end of the book.
and the suicide hotline. The numbers and the websites are at the end of the book because it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Deal with.
Exactly. And it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and you just tired. You just can't take no more. You just can't take. God ain't moving fast enough. Come on, people.
Right,
He's not moving fast enough. I'm ready to end this. You need a telephone number. You need something. You need to be able to pick up the phone and talk to somebody. Not a computer, not an animated voice, but you need to be able to pick up the phone and talk to somebody and tell them, look at here, a stranger that don't know you. Because sometimes it's easy.
Yep, you got to get that boom boom beat.
Right.
Yep, you never know what's going to be at the end of that phone call that you get in the midnight hour. Because
you know what I'm saying?
I have worked through some things. Let me tell you, there's just, with a text message, it's like okay, and then we just walk each other through it. So you never know what's going on with somebody, or for her and I mean, I can just say, okay, what's going on? Oh, nothing. Oh, no. I'm not here. You tell me what's going on. So, not everybody has that avenue, and not everybody is willing to bare their souls to people that they don't know. So you have to go to your friends, and you have to go to people that you truly trust. And that's another thing that comes in sometimes in the midnight hour is that you go through your everyday life, and you think some of the people that you have bared your soul to and you have trusted, you realize in the midnight hour you're busy pulling the knives out of your back from these people.
Exactly.
And sometimes it can be heartbreaking. Sometimes it's like, well, they served their purpose. It's time to move on. And they're going to keep stabbing me in my back because they're not fulfilling their dream, and I have. But sometimes it's a harsh reality that we don't want to deal with because you think, well, man, I've known this person for, X number of years. I can't believe they would do this to me. But the minute you step out into any type of form of greatness, or someone thinks you've achieved something that they haven't, the knives come out of the drawers, out of the cupboards. I mean, you get hit upside the head with skillets and everything else. But sometimes we have to listen to the whisper of God, and He'll lead you in the right direction who you need to talk to and who will give you an answer to some of those questions that are burning in the midnight hour. God knows him and I on the phone a lot of times half the night trying to work something out, whether it was for ourselves or for somebody else. So, those are the friends that, that are rooted in your soul, that will be there forever. And when it's time to take your last breath, you may have 5 people you can count on one hand, but they were true.
That's it. I got you. Now, my next question. See, I'm loving this interview because I'm loving your testimony here. Your testimony is just wonderful. Now, I need to ask you two to do me a huge favor and go back to the beginning for a second. And this question is for both of you. Jerri, I think you know where I'm coming from. Either one of you can ask first. What got you first interested in writing?
Well, for me, personally, mine started when I was a child. I was a caregiver to my father at a very early age of 3. He passed away when I was 12. And a lot of things that I went through, I grew up extremely fast because of the things I had to do in taking care of my father while my mother worked 2 or 3 jobs. We didn't have any help from anybody else. And when it came time to talk about things, it was like, well, you're to be seen and not heard. I grew up in that generation. So a lot of things that went on with me that I was not able to express because, it might hurt somebody, or, they're going through their own grief process and you don't want to add to them. I started writing things down. But at a very early age, I think when I was probably 5 years old, I was told by someone that I had a very old soul. And I used to sit with old people all the time because that's what I was around. So, old folks got some stories. So, and their stories, I was like, wow, you should write this down. So as I was growing older, I started writing down things that were going on in my life because I wasn't able to express it to my family because they didn't have time or they were all dropping dead. So that's how I started writing. And then I kind of tucked it away because I thought, nobody wants to deal with that. And then I started sending out emails. And it was like a little motivational thing to get people going each day at work. And it started out with 5 people, then it went to like 20 people, then 40, and pretty soon it was over 100. And that's how I started my Facebook page. Because I could no longer send out that many emails at work. So that's how my writing went from just writing a few words down on how I felt to how I felt in my little, is it just me moments that I put out there to other people and realized it wasn't just me. And that's how I got involved with Blaqrayne, and that's how I got my books published, and it all just started by doing a little journaling or just putting down my thoughts and how I felt about things because I wasn't allowed to discuss them.
Okay. And two?
For me, I have always, as you can see, loved words.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite subject in school was English. And I wrote my first novel, I think, when I was 11, 12. Of course, it never got anywhere, but I wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I went on to live my life, to work my job, to do what you do. And in 2000, I decided, okay, I'm going to write a book. So I sent off a couple of manuscripts, and they were all rejected. So I let it go, okay, life moves on, went to work, did what I had to do. Was it 2011? Yeah, in 2011. My husband, who is incarcerated, met a guy that was running a publishing company in prison. And he kept saying, Kim, you are such a storyteller. You need to give me something to show him because he really wants to see what you have to say. So he kept on and kept on and kept on until finally I gave in and I wrote a little piece and I sent it to him. The guy loved it. And he went through the process of getting me involved with his publishing company. Well, lo and behold, his publishing company failed. My husband wouldn't give up. And he started sending me all of these addresses to all of these other publishing companies. You need to keep going with this. But I did. And finally I got a hit. Well, the first hit I got didn't pan out into anything because the woman told me that she didn't think the book would be a success. I was like, okay, whatever. That's what you feel. That's what you feel. And finally a publishing company did pick it up. And that's how I became a published author. My thing is, we're all writers. All of us are writers. We have been writing since kindergarten. Since preschool, we have been writing. You wrote your ABCs, you wrote your 1, 2, 3s, you write your grocery list, the wives write the honeydew list. So we are all writers. But there's a certain passion.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a certain passion that takes you from being a writer to being a published writer. Because there are people out there that have written wonderful. So I guarantee you there are a million bestsellers out there that nobody has ever read.
Absolutely.
But if you don't have the passion to take it out of your hands and place it in somebody else's hands, then it will never be anything but what you wrote. So we're all writers, but we don't all have that passion. See, me and Jerri have a passion. We have a passion for words. We have a passion for stories. We have a passion for putting stories out there for people to read. Here, take this, read it, digest it, do something with it. Just like all my fictional novels, although they are fictional, they all have underlining issues.
Mm-hmm.
Underlying. So that's the difference. And I have a passion for words. I have a passion for making sure that people get a chance to put their words out there. I
I don't care what kind of word it is. I don't care if it's a fictional word, a non-fictional word, a poetry word. I don't care what kind of word it is. If you want it out there, now, don't go too far. But if you put it out there, send it to me, and I'll put it out there. I might have to clean it up a little bit. I have to straighten it out a little bit. I have to make sure it flows. Make sure it flows like it's supposed to flow. If you want to get nasty with it, okay, well, get nasty with it. We'll put that in the poetry form.
Well, that's going to be my...
Let's make sure we understand this is erotica. In erotica, you can pretty much do what you want to do. In poetry, you can pretty much do what you want to do. And I want to make this point while I'm on here.
Mm-hmm.
I do not, especially when it comes to poetry. Yes, I edit the work that my people send me. When it comes to poetry, I do not edit much. And that's because poetry flows from a poet's heart. You get to messing around with a poet's words and changing things and correcting this and correcting that because you're trying to be politically correct or you're trying to be correct with your grammar or spell check or whatever. You mess around and mess with a poet's work too much and you take away from what they're trying to tell you. There's always a message in poetry. Always. And the messages in poetry are even deeper than the messages in any other genre. Because 9 times out of 10, when a poet sits down to write, they coming at you from the heart. So when you pick up that Blaqrayne published, it's going to have them arms and it's going to have all of that. Because I'm not trying to because if I change that, then I'm changing what that poet was trying to express to you.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to do that. It's not my job to change your work. It's my job to publish your work and put it out there like you gave it to me.
Okay.
That's it. I'm through.
Oh, you're fine. No. Well, actually, my next question was going to be, how can I, if someone wants to sign up with Blaqrayne, how can they do that?
If somebody wants to do what?
If someone wants to sign up with...
Right. If somebody wants to sign up with Blaqrayne.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, there are 2 ways. You can hit me up on Facebook at Miss Wordetry Morrow. Or just Blaqrayne Publishing. Yeah, or we have a Blaqrayne page that Jerri pretty much monitors. And it's called Blaqrayne Publishing and Promotion. Or you can hit me up at my website. And the website is KMSteps.wordpress.com. That's my website. So, and it gives you all the information about Blaqrayne, the prices, and the whole 9 yards. So those are the three ways that you can get in touch with me. You can do me on Facebook, do Miss Wordetry Morrow, Blaqrayne Publishing, hit Jerri. If you want to hit Jerri, if you know her and don't know me, hit Jerri. She will send you to me. Those are the 3 ways that you can get in touch with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, my email address is blaqrayne.001@gmail.com. Well, hit me up there, too.
Okay. See, I love that. So now this is the point of the interview where I'll give you each the last word. Any advice, anything you want to say, anything you want to promote. Anyone can start.
Okay, well, advice is that follow your heart, first of all. Listen to the whispers of God within your heart. If there's something you want to write, then you're meant to be a writer. If it keeps at you and nagging at you and nagging at you and nagging at you, then that's what you're meant to do. When you want to become a worker within this universe and you want to serve God through this universe, be careful what you ask for, because once he opens that door and the floodgates start opening, it's a pretty amazing situation to be in, but you got to make sure you're ready. And so my advice is never give up on what you feel your dream is, because we all have dreams, and sometimes we get sidetracked with, having children, or, going to school, or we get caught up in our work, and we just keep putting it on a back burner. But if it's something you really want to do, it'll happen. But you have to put the work into it. It's not just going to jump out there and happen without any work being put into it. Anything you want in this life that's your dream, you have to work at to obtain it. And as far as promotions, I want to shout out for Shirley Davis Brown and her book for The Sweethearts. I want to shout out our book, Nightscapes. I'd like to shout out my book, Fences, and then Fences 2, The Journey Continues. And just make your dreams come true.
All right, Ms. Kim.
And my advice is basically the same as Jerri's. Just follow your dreams. If you got a dream, don't let people sidetrack you. Don't let people talk you out of your stuff. Joseph made the biggest mistake when he told his 11 brothers about his dreams. That's what he told his 11 brothers. For those of you that don't know, that's a Bible story. Look it up. Joseph told his 11 brothers about his 2 dreams. And it led him to a pit. They brought him out of the pit. Then they sold him into slavery. But it still did not stop what God had for him. It might have deferred it, it might have delayed it, but it didn't stop it. So you have to be careful who you talk to about your dreams. And yes, I know, because I've been there. There comes a time when we all need human contact, when we all need somebody that we can talk to, that's a human being that can look back at us, we can touch them, feel them, hear their voice. We all need that. But you might not always have it. So you have to be very, very careful who you share your dreams with, because they will steal them from you. I'm dealing with a situation right now where a sister is stealing a dream from another sister, and it's all because of jealousy. So be very, very careful who you share your dreams with, because they will take it away from you. And if you do not persevere, if you do not make up in your mind, my dream is going to come true, I'm going to have what God has for me, you won't get it.
That's it. Now, I also
want shout out Uncle Son. Hold on. For a shout out Uncle Son, I want to shout out the whole Blaqrayne family, because I love all of you. I love you. Fences 2, The Journey Continues. Geraldine M. Grady, Essence of Me. Benjamin Davis, The Unpolished Gem. Lucy Thompson, Brother Follow Me Down. Who I can't night. There's so many of them. It's just it's just so many. I want to shout out the whole Blaqrayne family, because you are more than just people that give me words. You are my family, and I love each and every one of you differently, separately, for you. One of you. Last shout out, I want to shout out my mentor in this whole poetry game. The man that introduced me to poetry. The man that made me realize just how much I loved poetry. And his name is Eric Draven. And everybody needs to check him out, because he is the bomb. I'm done.
all of the above authors she mentioned will be on future shows of the Author's Corner. I've already interviewed quite a few, and quite a few more I'll be interviewing here in the future. So I'm glad you enjoyed the interview. When we come back, we'll be talking to Terry Dais-Pasley. Do you need a manuscript edited? Perhaps you need a press kit or some ghostwriting done. HD Campbell Productions will offer the most professional services at the best price. We also do book trailers, publicity, newsletters, and more. Check out more in the online marketplace section on my website at www.htcampbell3.net. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. Have you checked out the new H.T. Campbell Productions website lately? It has new interactive features. More information on books, services, shows, and more. Check out videos, slideshows, and more at www.htcampbell3.net. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. Welcome back to the Author's Corner with H.T. Campbell. We're going to keep the ball rolling with Terry Dais-Pasley. She has a lot to say about business and how to build a brand. So here she is.
I would say I was in elementary school when I found that I enjoyed writing. I was always asked to help edit other people's papers, and that's how I got started in writing.
Well, I'm not even gonna go there, but I guess that's sort of not saying that we're similar, but yeah. So what was your first actual piece of writing that you've done?
My actual first book is TDP Small Business Tips and Words.
No. I mean before we get to your published piece, what was your first thing that you actually wrote for self?
For self, it was a diary, of course. Mm-hmm. As a young girl, I kept the daily diary, and then when I became an adult, I just kind of kept up with that.
Cool. And so now go ahead and tell me about your first book and tell me what inspired that book.
Absolutely. My first book, as I said, is TDP Promotions, Small Business Tips and Words of Encouragement. And I was inspired to write the book since I started this new business. I felt as though I needed to feed my clients information on a daily basis. And so I started doing that about 4 or 5 months ago. And I thought, why don't I turn this into a book?
Okay. And can you give me a few tidbits that's in the book?
Sure. Some of the tidbits in the book, the first thing would be to always put your customer first. They are your first priority. They will help make or break your business. One of my words of encouragement is to stay strong in your plans. Even though your plans will take you through ups, downs, highs, and lows, stick to your plan.
Okay. Very good. Now, and when you first wrote this book, what was going through your head pretty much?
Well, I actually wrote a lot of the small business tips and words of encouragement based on my experiences now with my new business. Okay. So some of the things in the book are very dear to me, things that I experienced maybe the day before. When I woke up the next morning, I felt as though I need to spread this news with other small business owners.
All right. And speaking of your new business, I was just showing a little bit of your website here, TAP Promotions. Tell me a little bit about TAP Promotions.
Okay, TDP Promotions.
TDP, I'm sorry. TDP, sorry.
That's okay. We are a marketing and promotions company, and basically what we do is we help the small business owners get the word out about their business. That's through advertising, event planning, marketing, promotions, and public speaking services. And we also assist authors in helping get the word out about their books. So we help them with book sales and booking them for events.
Okay. And how many authors do you have as clients currently?
Right now I have 6 authors as a client. Thank you.
That is no problem. You're about to get some more after this show. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to this on my website, so you'll probably end up with a lot more.
Fantastic.
So at what point did you decide, okay, I want to start a small business, I want to do this? What inspired that?
I actually have been helping people with their businesses for many years, and a lot of the services that I currently offer, I have been doing unofficially for many years. A couple years ago, I was approached by an author to edit a book for her, and after that book was published, she needed help in getting the word out about her book, and she contacted me. And so in doing that, I decided that I needed to put all my talents together and start my own company because it's something that I love to do. It comes firsthand.
Okay.
So it's not actually like work.
Okay. Are you going to write any more books on the horizon, or?
Yes, I do have another book that's in the making,
Okay.
and hopefully that will be published in 2014.
Okay, and can you give us a name, or is it, you don't have one yet, or is it kind of hush-hush?
I can tell you a little bit about what it's going to be about. It's going to be about a male growing up to be a man.
Okay. So it's more like a coming of age, basically, from the male point of view.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I want to ask.
Another TDP small business tip will be coming out also.
Nice. I love that. Now, I want to ask a question. Blaqrayne Promotions. How did you start associating with Blaqrayne?
Well, I actually met the owner of Blaqrayne Promotions on Facebook. As you know, with small businesses, it's very important that you include social media as a part of your marketing. And so I've been blessed to meet a lot of good people, and she has been one of those people that kind of inspired me. You have some good information, you need to put it out there. And I'll tell you what, she was fantastic. My book was published in less than a week.
See, that's wonderful. That's the one thing I like. Which actually brings me to my next question, because, see, Blaqrayne is wonderful for that. As an author, as a small business owner, what do you feel about, quote-unquote, too many people not coming together and having a coalition of competition?
Well, my thoughts on that is people shouldn't just come together. They need to come together if they are like-minded people and have the same goals and objectives in mind.
Absolutely.
Those that don't come together, you can only be a one-man show for but so long. So you have to collaborate with others in order to have a successful business.
Exactly. I fully agree. Now, my next thing is, do you have any events or any book signings or anything coming up?
I don't have any book signing coming up, but the TDP Promotions does have a lot of events coming up more towards the end of the year, and also in 2014. We have a back-to-school event that's going to be coming up for the children here in the city of Charleston, South Carolina. Also, we have an event for cancer awareness that's going to be coming up. And then I have one of my authors is really breaking out in the South Carolina area. He's an author of children's books. And so we're going to have a lot of events coming out with him also. Okay. And looking forward to Black History Month, February 2014, we are looking to do a very huge African American authors book fair here in South Carolina.
Nice. I would love to interview you about that close to the time. Absolutely. So we can talk about that. Tell me about some of your Author Showcase vendor packages.
Some of the vendor packages, we are going to include advertisement for you on social media. We'll have it in the local Chronicle here in Charleston, South Carolina. We'll have it in the local newspaper. Just all kinds of things to entice sponsors to support this event. Because, again, it's going to be awareness for the community and definitely a focus on the children.
Okay. Now, my next question coming up is, do you have anything coming up as far as the near future, as far as anything you're personally doing or anything else that we need to know?
Well, there definitely will be some expansions of TDP. Right now, we've been focusing on the marketing and promotions aspect of the business. So we will also be including a clothing line. We will be also including the printing of screen printing will also be included in our business. So those are a couple things.
Okay. Now, this is the biggest question I've asked of all my authors, and by you being an entrepreneur, this works out even great. I always give you the final word. Do you have anything, any advice, anything you want to give anyone who's trying to start a business or put a book together or put a showcase together? You have the final word. Anything you want to say?
Sure, absolutely. I would say for those that are interested in starting a small business, pursue your dreams. Make it happen by any means necessary. but more importantly, pray about it and do something that you love to do every day as a business. I've had lots of good jobs that I, of course, was not happy with because I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And so now that I've started this marketing and promotions business, I'm so much happier because I'm doing what I love to do and I don't consider it as work. So definitely make it a decision to do something that you love to do and you want to get up and do every day. Okay. That would be my suggestion to anyone that's considering opening a small business.
Nice. And also, how can I get in contact with you, get to know more about you, your businesses?
Absolutely. You can visit us online at www.tdppromo.com. You can follow us under TDP Promotions. You can follow us on Twitter under TDP PR Agency. You can follow us on Instagram at TDP Promo 1, and we are all over. You can also reach us via phone, 843-901-8220.
Now that's a lady who knows how to build a brand as well as have a lot of things going on. Stay tuned later in the show when I give a few announcements about a lot of things going on in my world that's going to enhance the Authors Corner as well as the HD Campbell Productions brand, as well as a new job that I've taken. So, but until then, when we come back, we're going to slow it down a bit with author Kottyn. Stay tuned.
Ever experienced a love for someone so forbidden? You feel so wrong, but yet his passion makes you feel oh so right? Even if you have, meet Solomon and Sheba, my award-winning author, Francine Kraft, and experience it all again.
Have you checked out the Authors Corner lately? It's the best show you're not watching. Every 2 weeks we bring you author interviews, news, and the best of the industry. With special guests, it's no wonder it's the fastest growing show around. There are 2 ways to check me out. Log on to my website at www.hdcampbell3.net or my YouTube channel at hdcampbell1230. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit.
Welcome back to the Authors Corner. As I promised, we're going to slow it down a bit and give the floor to Kottyn. Kottyn is a sensual poet. She is to male readers like GPA is to the female readers. So let the children leave the room and let's have an intimate conversation with poet Kottyn.
Oh my goodness. It actually stems from a lot of different things. Being around people that argue all the time and then they're loud. I don't like loud. And then never really being heard. Like I could say something, but people weren't really listening. So, and I didn't feel like I should have to raise my voice for you to hear me. If I can talk to you like this, then we should be able to communicate. But in real life, people have the tendency to always want to talk over you, especially when they don't really want to hear what you have to say. So it just always stayed with me because I hate to raise my voice, but I will, but I don't like to. So it comes from my childhood. I've always been like that. I used to get I should start a sex phone, right. Because I sounded like the sex line lady. People will call my phone and leave a message like, you sound like sex. I feel like I'm calling 1-800. 1-900. Like, well, you better start paying up then, because, yeah.
Oh, my. Well, I tell you what, like I said, your name fits you so much. And, well, I mean, that's why I love talking to you. Look, you know what, I ain't going to get into that right now. I'm getting to something else before I go any further with, I'll go in that a little later. But what I'm saying is you have amazing and phenomenal voice. And I'm almost, well, just let me move on for a second. You actually have a couple of projects to be released out this year. One this month, and the other in July. Can you give me your titles and the theme for each project?
Actually, I moved the date. The Seductions list was supposed to come out this month, but ROTO came out last month.
Oh, yes.
So I
Yes,
thought
it
it was
did.
a little too close for Revenge of the Orgasm for me to bring out Seductions because they're very close together. And so I said I needed to move it back just a little bit.
Okay.
So Seductions list actually, it's still two projects that I have coming out. The Seductions list is going to come out July the 18th. And then Poetry's Rant is going to come out 9/11.
Okay.
So those are the two books that I have come out, and they're very opposite books. Very opposite.
Okay. Well, give me a theme. Well, give me the theme for each of your books. For your two books.
An overview of the book.
Yeah, just pretty much. What's your basic theme along, or the overview, pretty much.
The Seductions list. I wasn't sure if I even wanted to write that book because I'm not good with the sexual content, the deep, the just in your face sexual content. I don't really care for it too much. It's not for me because there's only so much you can say, you know. But with the seduction, I can say a whole lot to make you think something that may not even be there. So this is why I like that route of it. But Seductions list is basically what it is. It's a little more in your face for me, but it's still seducing and it's still arousing. So it still leaves something to the imagination at the same time. And I was feeling it, and I said, I need to get this out of my system. Let me write it. And that way I probably, unless it's in somebody's anthology or someone requested for me, I may never write another book like this again. And it's a very small book. It's not even a big book because, like I said, it's not something that I was very sure that I wanted to write. But I had something in there, and I thought, oh, I need to write this. And put this down, you know. So I was writing almost every day, and I wasn't even in a certain mood. People always say, were you in a certain mood? Are you dating? Because you would think that from some of my writings that I am in a relationship. And the truth is I'm not. I'm very single. I haven't been in a relationship for a long, long time. But, and I can say this to you, to be honest, my only relationship actually has been with GPA. That's my only relationship, and that's we do poetry together. So he's been used as my muse for a very long time because he was the closest person to me. So now, so I was able to dig deep to pull some of this stuff out and some of the things I had been feeling and I know in previous relationships and how I'm feeling now about certain aspects, but it's not about me at all. I've never done the stuff that's in this book.
Right. Well,
I've never done the stuff that's in the book, so.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you something I told GPA, which is he does the females, but you do the guys. And what I mean by that is you speak to their minds. You speak to their hearts. You speak to their innermost desires. You don't speak to their bodies. And I think that's what really drives a lot of what you write. But also, too, I also want to know with that, what also drives you? What also inspires your works?
I like to see people having good relationships. And I think that my goal is to educate, not to, when I write, I'm not looking for people to look at me as the woman that they want to be with, or that I'm trying to date their men or anything like that, or date their women for that matter. I think it's just what really bothers me, because you hardly ever see somebody saying, I had a wonderful time with the person that I'm with. It's very rare that you see that. And so even though, and a lot of times people just want to sleep around, sleep here, sleep there, sleep there. I'm not the sleep around kind of girl. So I write these things so that you can use them in your relationship, not just so you can be, doing it with some in your body, because it is important to have that sensuality, that sexuality, that lust, that love, the love making, the mental love making, the sex. All of that is important to having a good relationship as well as the other things. Because if you can't, 9 times out of 10, if he's not happy or she's not happy in the bedroom, she's gonna go somewhere else, or he's gonna go somewhere else. So you don't want to necessarily do that. And then if you can mentally make love to them, then you have the ultimate, in my opinion, because I've been made love to by phone and was very captivated. Never touched, never, no sex, but the love making just by the conversation was awesome, you know. And it's not sex talk. It's just conversation about that person, how you feel about that person, or maybe you just want to talk to them about your day or something like that. I think that pulls them into you, which turns into a form of lovemaking. That's something, when people figure that out, they'll be okay. So that's a lot of what inspired me to want to continue to write some of this, because I started to stop. I really did. I wanted to just say, no, I want to do this.
Well, what made you want to stop?
I'm 44, and I'm one of those people. I'm not a like to be alone kind of person as far as a relationship is concerned, because I have a lot in me that requires two people. It requires me to be with another person. God didn't intend me to be by myself. I know this, but I'm very picky, and I choose not to. I don't want to be, but I said I can't keep writing like this, and I'm not in a relationship, because what it does is it starts to toll on me emotionally, because I am alone and I sleep alone at night. So, and I don't have that kind of love in my life. Like, what am I writing about this stuff? Well, I don't even have this in my life. Like, I need to stop. So it got to the point where I was like, I don't need to be doing this. I don't need to. So then I said, no, that's not what God intended for you. You need to write, because there are people out there. And then what tipped me back to the writing. Somebody sent me a message and said, I appreciate your work. You say what I can't say. And it was a woman, and she said, I have the hardest time trying to express myself, and you said what I was feeling. And I said, oh, okay.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say this, to where between your words and this interview today, I'm just going to say mainly what you're doing is basically writing a manual as to how you want to be loved when you find that love. Because here's my thing. If I can't stimulate you with my words, how can I with my hands? And that's basically what you're saying, what GPA says. That's why I say you guys, I think you were born with the same brain cell growing, because it's like great minds think alike. You see what I'm saying? So that's basically that's basically the same thing. So keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up, please. Do not give up. So
I won't. I still got some in me.
I mean, that's just fine. Now making sort of a weird transition here, actually along the same lines. You have a promotion on social media, and it's called Spend the Night with Kottyn. It's a promotion that you're doing. Explain to me how me and my listeners can spend the night with Kottyn.
Well, I'm headed out to Sacramento. That'll be my first stop. I'm not sure if I want to do anything along the way, but I am doing a show, and it's coming out to hear the very seductive sounds of Kottyn live, the queen of seduction. And when I do these shows, I like to. This show will be probably a little bit different, because it's kind of something last minute. But I know that I'm going to be in Sacramento the only day that I could get booked. So I said I want to do this show. I'm having this seductive grip, so I got to really turn on my sexuality, my sensuality. So I got to turn it up just a little bit. it's scary, but because of course in front of a bunch of people who people always say, "How do you perform?" But it's like most of my shows. The only difference is it'll be more sensual. It'll be a little bit more of me. Sexuality part I'll put out there, and then I have some new pieces that I'll perform, of course, and get the chocolate and some Moscato going so that the night will be even better.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Which brings me to my next question. Just to keep it fair, I asked GPA how the ladies receive him. How do the gentlemen receive you?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So far, I've had a few of the gentlemen make my book their profile pic, the next coming book. I get I get marriage proposals. I get, and as affectionate as I am, I love to be, you want to be proposed to, but you want to be proposed to by somebody who knows you, and you want to be proposed to by somebody who you're actually involved with in some kind of way. At least we've met a few times, or somebody that I'm really interested in. So the marriage proposals are cool, but when they start to come over and over, and sometimes it's from the same people, it's almost like, are you kidding? Like, come on, like, dude, then it becomes like scary. So the men perceive me really, really well, and I have to say that for the most part, the majority of the men are very respectful. They're because they understand that this is Kottyn. I am Kottyn when I'm on stage. I am Kottyn when I'm performing. I am Kottyn the writer. I'm Kottyn the poet. That is not who I am. It's what I do. So I get. For the most part, I am respected. But every now and then, there's always a dummy who sends out a picture of his private parts, or they'll inbox me something crazy, or I'll get a email or text message, not a text message, but an inbox on Facebook cussing me out because I haven't paid them any attention. And it's like, are you kidding? Like the guy that messaged me the other day, and I put it on Facebook, and I'm just like, are you serious? Like, I don't even know you. Like, we never met. We don't even have intimate conversations. So, and it's that thing that, and then men always seem to think that I am the woman for them. You are the woman for me. I said, you know what? You're probably right. I'm very conceited when it comes to this, so forgive me. I am that woman for almost every man, believe it or not. I view myself that way, but I'm not trying to be with every man, and I don't want every man to try to be with me. I'm just an example of what you probably should be looking for. That's my only thing. I am an example of the kind of woman you should have in your life. I am not the woman you should have in your life. I'm an example of that woman.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and interject my 2 cents again and just say that I'm sorry, I know I've been interjecting my 2 cents this whole time, but you have a confidence about you. What you call conceited, I call confidence. Conceited to me is, I'm so good, my stuff don't stink, but you don't think like that. You think, I'm good. A man has to earn my love to get to know the real me, to see what type of woman I am. That's basically confidence. So no, you have.
But I am very confident. So when I walk in a room, and I think one of my poems says that my confidence exudes when I walk in a room, because I am that person. I'm not intimidated by much at all. So I don't allow that I don't allow insecurity, or I don't allow low self-esteem to enter into my realm, no matter what.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to ask you this, and I'm going to move on. How did it feel when you have negative, when you do get the negative reactions, the opposite reactions from guys. Does that change your does that change your views in any way or anything that you do or?
No, I do have to be very careful of, especially when it's done on Facebook. I try to be real careful of how I respond to people, because the one thing that I do know for sure that I've gotten my entire life, especially when it's women, is that they wish they were me, and that's how I feel about it. Because I would never attack another woman or a man. Like, I don't need to attack you because if there's a man in between. It's because if that man did not exist, we would know each other. You wouldn't say, and if you saw me on the street, you wouldn't say anything to me. You might say hi and keep on about your business. So the fact that there's a person that we may or may not know that's mutual is how we come in contact with each other, some kind, whether it's on social media or face to face. I just don't let it bother me too much. My end result is just stop talking to me. Like, you don't even need to talk to me at all. But a real woman is going to approach you like a real woman. And so a lot of times when these people do this, I understand that they still haven't evolved yet, and they're still young girls. But these are also the same kind of women, females, that men will end up marrying and then cry about later. So I talk about that kind of stuff because it happens all the time. I've been single for as long as I have because I'm not going to settle, and I'm not going to allow anybody to disrespect me or treat me less than I deserve, just because I don't want to be by myself. I'm not going to do that. But a lot of these women, especially when we're dealing with GPA, I've had to deal with so many different women with dealing with GPA because he doesn't say no, and I have to say no. I have to be the one to say, no. Because she's not somebody that's going to be conducive to the team, number one. And she's not conducive to you individually, number two. Which means there's going to be a problem later. And there always is. So it's I have to be the bad person. So when it comes to the negative, I don't let it bother me. I always just say, it makes me angry initially because I'm a little hot-headed. When you attack me or attack somebody I care about, or my team members, I say something. I'm going to say something. I'm not going to keep letting it slide. First couple times, I might tell you to just back off and look, this ain't the time. But when I don't see you want to back off and leave it alone, now you got to deal with the other. Now you got to deal with the other person. Now I'm no longer Kottyn then. Now I'm the real person.
Oh my God.
I'm not the soft-spoken one anymore at that point. So it's like, she's not even soft-spoken anymore. No, she's not. She's a little crazy right now. You better leave her alone.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'm here, but I understand. Trust me. In fact, I think I've seen that side a couple times. I see a couple people mess with you. You don't play that, but again too. You have so many people that got your back, me included. You wouldn't even have to do all that. So
I didn't have to. A couple times I didn't have to say anything. I think I said, please get off this post because this wasn't for you. And I didn't say anything else. And I said this woman had to deal with every person. I said something, it was about 40 different posts of people saying stuff to her, different people saying stuff to her. And she lost me. She literally, then she inboxed me later because I told her, I said, if you wanted to know something, you should have just inboxed me. Don't come on my post and disrespect. And that's the other thing. When you come in a group that I'm in, or if you're on my page and you disrespect anybody that's on my page or in my group, I delete you. I delete you and then I block you. Because I'm not tolerating you disrespecting the people that are supporting me because you're ignorant. So I've had to delete some men and I've had to delete some women because of the behavior that they throw out there on Facebook. I have no tolerance for that.
This is a different question I want to ask. Speaking of that, and because this is more of a common sense question that I usually tell people. I also asked this question on my erotica show that I taped. Do you have any critics who come on your page or your group page and try to criticize your style of poetry? And if so, what do you? I'm almost certain you block them, but I'm just gonna ask anyway. What do you usually do?
You mean critics as in professional critics? Just people in general?
Oh, just people. Well, it's like I can't believe. Well, for example, I can't believe you writing all that little nasty stuff and all. You know, them type of people.
Let me see. I'm thinking. I had the one lady that I'm talking about. She said, sometimes I really like your writing, but sometimes it just doesn't. And then she asked me, she said, how can you write like that and then say that you're a God-fearing woman? I said,
See, exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
I said, poor baby. I said, you don't get it, do you? It don't matter what you do in this life. If you can't put God first, it's not going to work anyway. I don't care if you're a hooker. I don't care if you're a prostitute. It don't say anything in the Bible that I can't speak about what I talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not X-rated. I said, and some of the stuff that I you wouldn't know. To hear me performing, you wouldn't be like, wait a minute, she just say, but it sounds, I said, I didn't say one cuss word. I said, and I didn't say, I said, I really didn't say anything. I said, I just gave you the illusion. I said, that piece could have gone either way. I said, but I just gave you the illusion that it was something more sensual, sexual than what it probably was. I said, if you get up and read it, it's not going to sound like that. If you give it to a 15-year-old and they read it, it's not going to sound like this. It's going to sound like somebody's reading something. I said, but I just gave it to you and I performed it in a way. I said, but I told her, I said, it doesn't matter what I do. I put God first.
Mm-hmm.
He has to come first in order for me to make it through. I said, so, you're a Christian person, but you're on my page disrespecting me. I said, so who do you think God is looking at, frowning on right now? I said, I'm here because I'm not disrespecting you. I haven't said anything disrespectful to you. What I do is my business. If you don't like the way I do what I do, then I'm not keeping you here. So, sex is a part of life. Having babies is a part of life because in order to procreate, you got to do what? You got to have sex. I said, so all y'all Christian people, no disrespect, all y'all Christian people who think that sex should not be a topic of conversation, you're wrong because that's why there's a lot of young girls out there and a lot of young boys out there making these babies because you're not having these conversations. We're adults. I should be able to sit down and talk to you about adult things, and sex is an adult thing. Because if I'm going to have sex with you, shouldn't we talk about it?
Mm-hmm. Now here's
or should we should just jump in and do it because, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, like I say, I 100% agree with you, but I also wanted to add this too. While there's so many judges out there, when we talk about sensuality, or when people talk about the erotic, it's between couples. It's not just with you, me, and everyone else. It's between two people, always. And like you said, maybe you should stop having sex if this disgusts you, because we're not, you're not marketing to kids. You're basically not one cuss word is in it. So, so my point is, why are you on the page, or why you even, because me personally, I tell people, you don't even have to buy, you don't even have to buy it if you don't want to be a party to. You know what I mean? So,
right.
That's pretty much on me. But off my soapbox, I'm on to you.
But that's true because I will never understand because I asked the pastor that. I said, what is the problem talking about sex for so-called Christian people? I'm a believer. That's what I am. I'm a woman who believes in God, and I have a relationship with Him outside of going to church because church is just the extra. but it's an extra thing that I know I'm going to have to get to different kinds of people because I've been there. I've been in that world while I'm there almost every day, and I'm sitting there, and here it is, and I'm getting these phone calls from people saying, I just slept with the pastor, Sheila, Sister Campbell, what should I do? Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, you shouldn't be having this conversation with nobody.
No.
Second of all, you need to pray on that and talk to God about that, and then because you know that it's not right. So you don't even need to hear from me. You already know it's not right. So that kind of stuff, it's like, come on, I'm in the church. All of this stuff is going on. It's not, I don't put them on a higher pedestal than anybody else, but they put themselves on a higher pedestal by making it seem like that they're better than the rest of the world, which you're not. And that's where your downfall is going to be. That's just my opinion. That's another topic. All right.
Right. But again, I tell people this all the time who are judging, real fast. While we're judging your words, there are people out there killing each other, hurting babies, and where are your harsh words for them? Why are you bothering with Kottyn on her page? You know, use the same outrage you have on Kottyn's page and put it out there to the people doing real dirt.
Right. But I talk about everything. I don't just talk about the central. It's whatever captures your attention is what you're going to pay attention to. I talk about abuse. I talk about, some angry situations in relationships. I talk about molestation. I talk about blood. I talk about family. I talk more about love than anything. But the thing that people are most fascinated by is the sultry, seductive stuff, and that's because of the way I perform it.
And see, but that's the thing, though. It comes from the heart. It comes from your mind, your feelings. It's real. This is nothing made up here. This is real. I'm sorry?
It definitely comes from the heart, definitely.
Oh, yeah. So I just wanted to get into that for a second. Now I'm going to pick on you again about my man for a second. You two, I'm just gonna put it out there. You two are just an amazing team. You guys compliment each other well. You guys make each other. You said you make each other look good. You guys enhance what's already good. But I want you to tell me your take on such an amazing team, such as yourself and GPA.
I would have to say that I'm not good with making up stuff. GPA is an awesome person, and to be honest, HD, I couldn't have picked a better partner. Like, I know that there's no way. I was literally in California, of course, and he's in Chicago. There's no way. I wasn't even looking to have a partner. He and I were just chatting, and he one day said, hey, he read some of my stuff, I guess, and said, hey, why don't we team up? And I said, sure. I didn't even hesitate because we have such great chemistry. And when I personally, and I've been saying this forever, I'm just waiting on him to catch up. God put us together for a reason, and I don't think GPA has really caught up to what me and Jesus talked about. Me and Jesus had a conversation about this, and we're still waiting on GPA to catch up to all of that. But I couldn't have picked a better partner. Like, literally, I'm very thankful to have a poetry partner such as him. Mm-hmm. He is he's awesome. It's very difficult to put in words. I compliment him so much that his brother said, okay, Kottyn, enough.
Oh my God.
He said, man, I'm not talking to you if you're gonna be complimenting my brother all the time. And I said, okay, I'll tone it down a little bit. Because it had got that bad because I've had nothing but really great things to say about him. He's awesome as a poet. I love listening to him do poetry. And then I hate listening to him do poetry at the same time. Because it's very captivating. And when you're a single woman and you hear a man talking, like, he's got this gorgeous voice, it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna hear this right now. Single, I'm laying by myself. I don't want to hear this.
Oh my God.
So I absolutely love him as a partner. He's awesome, awesome, awesome.
Well, I've already asked this question of him, but I wanted to ask you the same. Do you see any group events or projects coming soon?
Group events.
Yeah, anything going on with the both of you together as far as any projects or events you guys are putting together?
Oh, yeah. We're always planning to do things together. We have the BPC that's coming up, which is in Atlanta, of course, with Mark Goggins. And we have New York to do. I'm just trying to think. I was just looking at the schedule, and I was like, oh, my goodness, so much stuff. We have New York to do, and he's supposed to come to Kansas, of course. And, oh, my goodness, I think Florida might be on the schedule, too, but I'm not absolutely sure. I can't remember. I just know that there's a lot. We just recently, we went out to Detroit a couple weeks ago, so that was exciting. Oh, that was so awesome. But we're still working on doing some stuff, so we'll see how it goes. My brain is always going 9 miles a minute, so I'm always looking at what we can do to create and enhance and make the team better, so that we can move forward. You know, so. I know I've missed a lot of stuff. The poetry love letter, the open mic is poetry's love letter blog talk is gonna be back on the air next week, I believe it is. I think it's this Sunday where I'm gonna be doing a reintroduction to let people know that we're back on the air and interviewing. So we got a lot of stuff.
I like that. That's pretty cool. So now my next question is, how can I get to know, and I meaning me or any of your fans, can get to know about Kottyn's Intimate World? How can we find the books? How can we find you, get info on your events, etc., etc.?
I'm on Amazon everywhere. That's one of the places you can find me. But you can also get me on my website. It's softspokenpoet.com. There you can see what I have going on. I try to make sure that it stays updated with the latest events that I'll be participating in or putting on myself. Here in Kansas, I'm going to be putting on a show in July around the book release time. So a couple of shows actually. One's going to be before that, and then the book release show. But I'm on Amazon. I'm on Reverb Nation. I'm on iCloud. I'm on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter. Kottyn Soft-Spoken is my Twitter, and of course Facebook. So I'm pretty much everywhere right now.
Okay.
And I'm trying to be some more fun.
Oh, that is no problem. Now I need you to do me a huge favor, if possible. I wonder if you can read a selection from your upcoming title, Seduction's Lips.
Oh, wow. I sure can. I'll do this one. It's very short. It's called Position. She stood over him, bare bottom, body squatted, legs strong enough to hold the position. She has a mission to teach him a new position. Her feet were firmly planted on the floor. She was flexible so she could sexually do more. Her arms extended, then she reached for him, preparing him for this next move. She had him lay face down slowly. Her body slides underneath him, starting from the top of his head. She wraps her legs and thighs around his torso. This is the limbo move. So
Her goal is to please herself. Body stopping, so she's positioned at his tongue. As it touches her cherry drop, tongue goes in and then she stops. Movement, slow in motion, love down below. There is nowhere else for him to go. She won't let him go until she's pleased. Her body movements are slow and his tongue drips with her insides. He rises as she lays in a dead silence, collects a state from the excitement of her insides that he ate. Softly spoken.
See, I always get this more than I bargain for every time I ask you to read something. I mean, like I said, again, this is what I keep saying. You said this is gonna be a short one, but short, long, or whatever is deep. I don't know. But you know what? Huh? Go ahead.
I was going to say, well, seduction is a person. So seduction is me. And the reason why I use seduction's lips is because you'll be listening to the sounds that come off of my lips. And they're going to arouse you and, do some things to you. So seduction's introduction goes like this. I am seduction, and these are my lips. The sounds that come out will arouse you. You will enjoy the sway of the way I curve my hips. This is it. First gesture is this. I lick my lips. A silent motion silently flirting with you. As I walk by you, you'll check out my backside because I wore the right jeans. So you'll notice high rise because I'm thick inside. The softness of my voice will give you no choice but to listen. So pay close attention. Do as I say, and my lips will make you imagine things like touching, tasting parts of you in the most private places that can't be mentioned right here, right now, in this room. So meet me in the back. I just took you there without being there physically. My hand moves up your leg and stops right there before you rise, eyes open wide. You're surprised that my ability to make you moist and have your moisture on you, not like any other woman has done to you. My whispers in your ear, like, baby, let me taste you. Seduction has just made love to you. Right here and now, you fear that when you leave here, your desire will be heightened times 10. Look around and think about this. Any woman can have seductive lips. Softly spoken. That's my seduction introduction. So.
I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna say this because I'm your friend. I'm just gonna warn you because I'm your friend. I love you, and you're a good person. Now, don't say I didn't warn you. When you have about 20 more marriage proposals by the time, or more by the time this is over. Don't say I didn't warn you.
By the time that's done.
Yeah, right. And I'm only being nice for 20.
Well, I'm definitely going to remember that. Hang up AP. You jinxed me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I sure did. My bad. Uh-oh. See that? See, now I'm probably going to get tagged in a lot of stuff. HT done got me 80 man proposals and blah, blah, blah. But that's okay, though. That's okay. You write good stuff. So that's more than expected. That's definitely more than expected.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites. I don't have that one memorized yet, but I plan to because it's gonna, especially when I get to do the book release party, because it's gonna be so hot. I want to make it hot, but I wanted the book release. I wanted to kind of cater to the men. That's the goal, is to kind of get some women to seduce some men that can get up with their voice and seduce some men during their part of the performance.
Well, you cater to the men very well. In your words, you definitely cater to the men. So I wanted to ask, for my final question, I was actually going to give you the final word. Any last words, anything you want to say, or any messages you want to get out there?
I have Seductions List, of course, coming out. Poetry's Rant comes out 9/11. And Poetry's Rant is different. I wanted to just talk about that just a little bit, because people see the seductive sultry side, but then there's the other side where I talk about, like I said, abuse. And the Poetry's Rant, I talk about all kind of stuff. Like in this, she's talking. There's different rants, so she's not necessarily angry at all the time. So you're getting all these different emotions that's coming from the writer. And she's angry at times, and then she's loving him sometimes, and then she goes back to some other stuff, and she talks about this, she talks about that, and so with Poetry's Rant, I'm just gonna say a couple of lines, if you don't mind, if we have time.
Oh, go ahead.
In this piece is, he touches me in places that a man should not touch without permission. My body parts are developed, my body parts aren't developed yet, but I'm still a virgin. I'm new, nothing of sensuality or sexuality, but about the relationship. See, I haven't experienced any of that yet. I haven't been taught what love is, and it's supposed to be. So who's going to take the time to teach me? My mother, she didn't understand what love meant herself. She thought that her stepfather beating her was heaven sent, so she continued it. The bad relationship, alcohol became her best friend, but she continued the cycle of being with abusive men. It seems he stood 7 feet tall, overshadowing my small frame. At age 3, he told me it was a game and no one else could play. They weren't special enough, and then he came. So that's just like a short little paragraph of what's in Poetry's Rant. And then that particular poem would then be turned into a novel or a book, a nonfiction book called Without Permission, and it won't come out until next year.
Okay. See, well, again, thank you for a wonderful interview. Unlike, much like your partner, I always get more than I bargain for. I want to thank you too. A special thanks for reading those poems for me. I love them. The name of the book coming out is Seduction Slips, and that'll be what's the date? That'll be what's the date?
July 18th. It comes out. Seduction Slips, July 18th.
All right, and Poetry's Rant is 9/11.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Hold on one second.
Thank you so much for having me, XD.
Oh, it's always my pleasure. You guys can always come back anytime. That's not a problem. Whew. Getting hot in here. Well, I hope you enjoyed that conversation. I sure did. Well, when I take a moment and give me something cold to drink, I'll be back with an announcement, and then we'll wrap up the show. Do you need a manuscript edited? Perhaps you need a press kit or some ghostwriting done. HD Campbell Productions will offer the most professional services at the best price. We also do book trailers, publicity, newsletters, and more. Check out more in the online marketplace section on my website at www.hdcampbell3.net. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit.
Ever experienced a love for someone so forbidden? Feel so wrong, but yet his passion makes you feel oh so right? Even if you have, meet Solomon and Sheba, my award-winning author, Francine Kraft, and experience it all again. Experience the roadblocks of pregnancy, past transgressions, and the deathbed confession threatens the most powerful of romances. Can they survive? by Solomon and Sheba from your favorite bookstore, Amazon, and BarnesandNoble.com.
Welcome back to the Author's Corner with H.D. Campbell. This is the portion of the show where I normally give authors advice. But today I want to talk about a few new things that's going on with me. First, let me start off with the most important. I've taken on a new job in which I'm going to be marketing director of Show Me Records. Show Me Records is a local record company here in St. Louis with a lot of great artists. And as marketing director, I get a chance to work with a lot of them. My new show, The Artist Corner, will still be going on, but it's being put on hiatus until I can get the necessary time to put it together, which it will go on, but just later this year or early next year. In addition, I'm starting a new religious program in which I'm going to have a powerful message every week. And you'll meet the preacher here on a future episode of The Author's Corner, because you've already met her, but you will definitely get to hear one of her messages on a future show. Finally, I have two new books. Geraldine, which you already know, the long-awaited sequel to Hallow's a Black Woman, as well as Garth the Virtual Killer, which used to be Garth from the Heart of a Virtual Demon, but I put it under my Publish America umbrella, so that way they all can be published under one umbrella. Finally, I've also taken on a few other roles as far as you'll also see me in several local music blogs and everything here. Everything is all under the H.D. Campbell Productions umbrella, so you'll be able to see a lot of me here in the future or future shows locally or what have you. To find out more and also other things that I'm doing, log on to my website at www.hdcampbell3.net and also log on to my YouTube channel at hdcampbell1230. Well, that's the Author's Corner. Thank you, peace, hair grease, and as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. Thank you.